Hello, everybody. I'm Alexei Kraborov. We're here at the SF Scala meetup at Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Auckland. And here with us, we have Jason Swartz, who is the co-organizer of SF Scala, a long-term speaker at our meetups and conferences. And now he comes to us in his function, in his new role, relatively new role, as the lead engineer at Twitch Edge team.
That's right.
He's a speaker at tonight's meetup. But we're catching up after a while, so we're gonna ask Jason what's up in his world. So Jason, tell us what's happening at Twitch.
Well, Twitch is big. People really crave, well, not just games. I mean, everyone likes games, but I think people really crave being part of a community. They like to say, okay, I'm playing this game. They want to be with other people who are doing it. They want to learn from experts who are really good at what they're doing, and they want to meet them. They want to have, you know, in Twitch, that takes the forms of bits and cheers and subscriptions and many other forms. I think isn't that a little bit similar to having developer conferences like Scale by the Bay?
Almost like that, except you sit in your couch and you see it.
Right, and I guess at conferences, you don't necessarily have to throw money at people.
Right.
But they appreciate it.
So maybe we should think of some innovative conference when everybody sits on the couches and we Twitch it.
Yeah, and if you're really good, you get bits thrown at you and cheers and silly emotes.
So I never used Twitch. So can you just tell, for those audience members who didn't use it, what's the key to it? Is it basically this TV channel? You can see other people doing stuff, right? So it's a streaming video.
We have tens of thousands of streamers around the world who are streaming mostly right now games, but you see the person, you have them talking. They're playing with other people, and you can join them. You could talk to them. You could send them money. You could actually interact with extensions now and be part of the game. You could get an overhead view of what they're doing, or if they're playing Hearthstone, you can copy the deck they're using and try it out yourself. But we also have people who are doing things in real life. We have a lot of people who are knitting and crafting and sewing and cooking, actually. I was going to try to find a functional angle for that, but I'm not sure that part will work. But you tend to want to go see people who are really good at what they do and learn from them.
Interesting. So it's a video stream technically. So is there a separate audio stream, or is it a part of the video stream?
Oh, it's a live audio video stream. We'll have someone in France, for example, playing a game like Fortnite. They'll be talking about it. Their computer will take the image of them and the screen and push it up to our servers. We'll process it, we'll clean it up, we'll transpile it, convert it to different video formats and different bandwidth speeds, and then send it over to someone in, say, Indiana who's watching on their PS4 within about 5 seconds.
Interesting.
So there's a lot to deliver.
And so HD means you're living on the edge.
Oh yeah, we get all the requests. Near and dear to your heart. We have GraphQL services that help run all of Twitch, and we get about 250,000 requests a second and need to figure out how that maps to GraphQL queries across hundreds of internal services.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I noticed, I didn't know about this until recently, until I noticed your talk. And that's really exciting to me, right? Because GraphQL is obviously kind of saving the world from untyped JavaScript, but also I find that backend people jumped on it. For instance, we have talks from Twitter, Medium, into it, and Craig Karma. Apparently, they all use it for different reasons. So it looks like people just now take it as some kind of middleware to connect backends. It doesn't necessarily mean JavaScript, right? Like apparently it's good for something else.
Well, it's a query language. It's a bit hard to use databases without some form of SQL, and similarly, it's a bit hard to really efficiently get a lot of data for your page if you have to just use fixed REST APIs. A lot simpler if you can say, here's exactly what I want to build my page.
So you gave very well received historical now talks about APIs with Scala, right? So, and now you have GraphQL, and obviously it's been a couple of years. So how is this space evolving? How do you see GraphQL kind of being more easy or harder versus REST? How do you see this transition?
Well, I think the basics of understanding REST they're pretty easy, but it really hasn't improved in a while. I think at Twitch we actually have a combination. We're using a lot of we have our own gRPC version called twerp, which happens to work really well for us, so we can get a lot of binary connectivity going and reduce a lot of the chatter that you have with large JSON payloads. But GraphQL is great. There's actually a GraphQL Summit just finishing today in San Francisco. Apollo has some amazing tools for a wider range of editors, and we find that the schema linting and verification is getting really sharp now. I expect more companies to be getting on board with this.
Interesting. So can you tell us a little bit more about your stack? What's the stack at Twitch? What does it look like?
Well, that's interesting. We were originally a Ruby on Rails shop. That helped to really build out Justin TV. Right now, we're actually big on Go, and we find that everyone across the company is able to read and review each other's PRs. It's nice. It really doesn't take a long time to really get up to speed and learn it. I don't think that what we're doing by itself is really that hard. It's the scale which is more challenging right now. But we find Go's great. It compiles to executables. When you actually run it in Docker, it's no different from running Scala or PHP or Node.js or anything else.
And Docker people and DevOps people now, they love Go, right? Because it's kind of language of choice for a lot of cloud native stuff.
Definitely.
So do you find it helps you in integrating with DevOps and infrastructure?
Yeah, for DevOps, we're definitely into Terraform and HCL. There's actually some new AWS project, which I think is commonly known now. There's going to be a Java-based library which will actually transpile to CloudFormation. So if you've used CloudFormation and said, wow, this is kind of unnecessarily big, it's now going to be an output format from a transpiler. So I assume that there's going to be some good Scala wrappers coming soon to define your whole infrastructure, and I'm looking forward to getting on that.
And so are you able to use some Scala at Twitch?
I can when I need to, definitely. I want to convert my Terraform HCL files over to use Java or Scala and start generating CloudFormation and really reduce a lot of the effort that comes with building infrastructure on AWS.
Interesting, interesting. So we'll claim dibs on that talk when you do that.
You got it.
So you guys on Amazon, right?
We're an Amazon company, yes.
Okay, and you use an AWS for?
Yes.
Right. Was it before acquisition or post acquisition?
I think even before. I think the big thing is this is I think it was wonderful to have Amazon acquire. Twitch is growing and growing and growing, and we want to find good ways to monetize this, not just for us, but for the streamers. We want streamers to make a living. It's actually very similar to my time at eBay, where you had buyers versus sellers. Now we have, and you had thousands of people having their own business and running it on eBay, and we're looking to see the same thing. We want to have streamers have their own businesses on Twitch, and we want them to sell things and monetize and make it actually a real commerce platform. So I think it's wonderful to have the backing of Amazon as we start to build it out and say, we're going to make it a rich, fair environment for both the streamers and the viewers.
Interesting. So I noticed a very interesting phenomenon in the programming world, right? So I follow a lot of folks on Twitter from all around the world. And so recently there is this new thing where somebody says, watch me, I'm going to code. Tonight at 9 a.m., I'm going to do a full PR for Spark, right? And and somebody else says, okay, like, I think he's a famous game developer. And he says, you know, like, I'm the most successful game developer ever, and you can be just like me. Tune in, I'm going to code this whole game from morning till dusk, right? And so apparently now it's a thing where developers can watch other developers moving mouse on the screen and like Googling documents and checking Stack Overflow.
I've always wanted to learn how to Google things on Stack Overflow. And do they also teach how to copy and paste back into code?
I think so.
Well, I want to learn that. Well, the big thing is for me, it's the commentary. And well, actually, the really big thing is it's interactive. I've seen After Dark and a few other Twitch streamers show off some things. I think After Dark is demoing how to do OpenGL and other 3D apps in Go, which is kind of fun. But there's a wide range of different coders. The great thing is you can get on the chat and ask them questions. You can subscribe and send bits and say, hey, I'd like you to answer this question for me, and they're there to help. I don't know of any other medium where not only can you watch and get what they're doing full screen, but also talk to them.
So I think we're on the verge of something new. So like I'm immediately thinking, right? Like let's say you have the coding guy working with the code base you care about. You can pay them to fix the bug you care about, right? Or maybe like change the formatting, right? Maybe like change the style or call the variable something else. So you can actually affect something in the code you care about through this medium.
I'd like that. I'd like the idea of reaching out, of having a community. It can be really hard to get started with programming. I love the idea that people can come together and chat and have someone who's leading them through the instruction. But then after a few minutes, I usually switch over and watch Ninja play Fortnite, to be honest.
So I'd like to wrap up with the community. Obviously, we're at the Meetup, which is a community. What does Twitch do in terms of software engineering community? Is there open source work? Is there something you need help with from the community? So how can we connect it back to the community at large?
That's a great question. I don't think we have a lot of open source offerings, but I think we'd like to. We did just have a full Twitch Developer Day at TwitchCon last month, because we have a lot of people we have extension developer kits, and we want people to write code that runs in JavaScript right on top of Twitch. But I think it'd be great to open it up and give back to the community.
And I know that you started a meetup at Twitch.
Yeah, we had the first Twitch engineering meetup yesterday. We want to start talking with fellow developers in San Francisco and share some of the interesting things we found.
Sounds awesome. So find this meetup, join it, and thank you, Jason, for sharing with us.
All right, thanks for having me, Alexei.
Yeah.